Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and as of just a few minutes ago, I mean, it's been a little over a few minutes ago because it's a little early for me, but the patch notes for the PTS for the Division 2's new update, which I assume is TU15, maybe it says in the article here, are now live, and I've glanced through them. We're in for some pretty cool stuff, especially with the game mode. I am really excited for what it looks like that is going to be. And so let's just get into it. Also, in case you're reading this and say that the PTS was missing from UB Connect, it's now there, approximately 72 gigabytes, which is kind of big. So, you're downloading the whole game. But that is now up on UB Connect, or it should be. I haven't looked myself to download for tomorrow. And I will, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure that I have everything set up right. I'm going to be streaming the PTS tomorrow morning. Friday morning. Keep an eye out on my community tab for the exact timing, but I believe I'm going to be able to do that, and I'm very excited to run through the new game mode with you guys, talk about everything. It's going to be really awesome. So let's get into these patch notes and see exactly what awaits us. All right, so there isn't a specific update name right now, I guess, but still I'm going to assume it's TU15. So welcome to the PTS. Please be aware that the patch notes are not final and will be updated with PTS modifications. Additionally, please note that the new features mentioned below are still being worked on and are therefore not in their final stages. All of these new features listed below will be available to you simultaneously, but we ask you to concrete your efforts and provide feedback in accordance with the following phases. PTS 1 is going to focus on the new game mode countdown and the expertise system, which we have previously been told about in the Intelligence Annex article. PTS Phase 2 will focus on new gear and balance adjustments, and then PTS 3 is all the above and bug fixes following Phase 1 and 2. So, assuming they do 3 waves for the PTSs, which usually go about a week, I think we can expect the update to drop like first week of May. That's just my guess, though. Totally out there. Let's just get into it. I'm really excited. New game mode, Countdown. Countdown is a new 8-player endgame mode for the Division 2. 2 groups of 4 SHG agents are deployed to a power plant to prevent a lockdown. Racing against the clock, the agents must work together to secure the site and stabilize the power plant. Believing their mission is complete, the agents prepare for extraction and are pursued by heavily armed and technologically advanced hostiles. Now, I'm not going to lie, this sounds awesome. I think this is exactly the type of game, unless it was going to include PvP, because obviously I would love that. But if you're going to keep it PvE, this is exactly the type of mode that I think the Division 2 needed to kind of refresh itself. Something that is match-made, session-based, against the clock. You're trying to make the best build to work for this situation. I think it's going to be really awesome. The overview here says 8 players PvE, timed mission, various objectives, randomized encounters, and flow on a new unique map. So there you go. A lot of people were like, oh, it's going to be on the same map. Nope. Brand new one. New gear and weapon drops, phase 2. So I don't think we're going to get the new gear and stuff until the second week, because that's like when they're focusing on it in the PTS. So this first week is probably just the game mode and the expertise stuff, which is fine. They want to test it in that order. That's cool. Available through matchmaking. So that is the new game mode of Countdown. I'm really excited to see the map. I'm really excited to see what kind of enemies they're talking about there at the end. Heavily armed and technologically advanced. Sounds kind of like hunters, but who knows? It could be a lot of different things. It sounds awesome to me, but we need to see, obviously, the map and more details, but I'm really excited for that. Expertise system. Expertise is a progression feature that allows you to improve the maximum performance of select weapons, gear sets, skill variants, and more. This feature is composed of 2 types of progression systems, the expertise level and the proficiency rank. So we have talked about this a lot before. I don't know if I need to go through the entire thing. Basically, by using items in the game and by donating materials, you can upgrade different items, and then by upgrading items you level up your agent, which allows you to then upgrade your gear. It's kind of a whole thing. We're probably just gonna have to play it to really get the feel for how it works in the game. The basic idea is it's another Keener watch system where you get to progress over time and gain more power and more levels and all that stuff. So that should be pretty cool, and I'm glad they're putting it on the PTS for us to try out, because I am still a bit dubious to how that's gonna play out in PvP, but we'll see. Here we go. New gear. Named gear Closer Chest with Perfect Spotter. Amplifies total weapon and skill damage by 15% to pulsed enemies. Wasn't 15 the base amount already? So that might be wrong, because I think it's supposed to be higher than that. Either way, whatever. I'm glad they're adding Perfect Spotter. That should be cool. The setup, backpack, talent perfectly opportunistic. Enemies you hit with shotguns and marksman rifles amplifies the damage they take by 15% from all sources for 5 seconds. I'm glad they're doing an opportunistic perfected version, because I think that's a really useful talent that not everyone always uses. It's always good to have more perfected ones, so I'm glad about those. Don't know what brands they're coming on, but that should be cool to figure out. New weapons, here we go, people. The new exotics. really excited for this. The first one is Dread Edict, an exotic variation of the SVD marksman rifle. The talent is full stop, shooting enemies build stacks of a cap of 20. Headshots grant 2 stacks. Each stack grants 2% weapon damage and 5% headshot damage on reload. Clear all stacks and gain 5% of your maximum armor as temporary armor for 10 seconds for each stack removed. Headshot kills with the Dread Edict restore all bullets in the magazine. This does not count as a reload. Okay, that sounds pretty fun. Not gonna lie, I'm glad they're doing another marksman rifle, to go with the Nemesis and the Mantis that we currently have. Sounds like this could be pretty fun with aces and eights, which kind of is a callback to year one, where everybody used the SVD with aces in the raid when Dark Hour was first released. So that should be pretty fun. Not the one I'm looking forward to the most, but it should still be awesome. This one, however, sounds really cool. Not gonna lie. Catharsis, exotic mass. Talent is vicious cycle. Taking damage build stacks of a cap of 30. Each stack grants 1% weapon damage. Taking damage at max stacks triggers a purge, removing all stacks and status effects, PvP, and then dropping a healing cloud which restores 5% max armor to 10 seconds for all allies in the cloud. My one worry with this mask is that it will further encourage tank builds, which you may or may not know by now are like my most hated thing in the division ever as far as PvP goes. I think tank builds that can gain a lot of damage are super toxic to the meta and all that stuff overall. Hopefully this mask comes with red rolls, like a weapon image roll and whatever. That would make the most sense to me. Maybe that and hazard, make it a little bit of a hybrid. But the idea of being able to gain damage by taking damage, and then you can purge status effects, that's a really important one for PvP. And then you can also heal your allies for a little bit. It sounds like a really, useful, just kind of overall mask. So I am excited to play around with that one with different builds, so long as it's not, super adding to the issue of tank builds in PvP. Then we have the blue screen exotic variation of the Stoner LMG, which is exciting because the Stoner is like one of my favorite guns, even though I don't ever use it. I just like the way it looks. I like the way it handles. It's a fun gun. And so it's getting an exotic version. The talent is Disruptor rounds. Shooting an enemy marks them and adds a stack to the agent up to a count of 50. Shooting a marked enemy refreshes the mark and adds stacks to the target. When you deploy a non-shield skill, I like how they specified that, remove all stacks on agent and all marked targets trigger an effect. 1 to 10 stacks pulses the marked target for 5 seconds. 11 to 25 pulse and disrupt the target. 26 to 49 pulse, disrupt, and disorient them for 10 seconds or 5 seconds. 50 stacks pulse, disrupt, disorient marked targets and hostiles within 10 meters of the marked target for 5 seconds. This effect will trigger immediately if any marked enemy is killed. So this sounds pretty cool. When you deploy a non-shield skill, I'm just trying to think, this is like a lot of information on this one. So basically when you shoot someone, both yourself and the enemy get a mark, and then those stacks build up. Deploying a non-shield skill removes the stacks and triggers that effect, or killing the enemy then triggers the effect. Sounds like it could also be a good skill and status effect deterrent in PvP, and I assume this will have, pretty good effects in PvE as well, especially against like the Black Tusk. Within 10 meters of the target for 5 seconds. Sounds like a fun gun. Definitely have to try it out with some different variations, see how it goes. But yeah, those 3 exotics all sound really cool. Not gonna lie. I'm most excited for the mask, probably then the blue screen, and then the Dread Edict. Although they all sound good. Like, none of them sound like they're going to be underpowered. And I assume some of these will come with the season, and maybe one will be with the new game mode. But we'll get to that a little later on. But those all sound really cool. Let's move on to now some of the new named weapons. So we have 2 new named weapons, which appear to be both variations of new high-end weapons that we're going to get with this update that they don't specifically mention in here, but I looked up both the TKB408 and the HK-GR9. I'm not a huge gun guy, but they both look really cool, especially the assault rifle. That looks really neat. And what I'm noticing here, well, I guess we'll go through this first. They both have the talent of Perfect Flatline, which is a new talent. Amplifies weapon damage by 20% to pulsed enemies. After 2 kills, applies pulse to the next enemy you hit. Very similar to Ignited, Sadist. What is the blind one? But the same one you get with like blind stat effect. It seems like that. And this is really cool. I'm noticing a trend here. They give you pulse damage. Some of this stuff revolves around pulsing, but specifically the new chest talent, Perfect Spotter, and all that stuff. So I would guess that the season, theme, season 4 was very skill focused with Empress International and all that different stuff, and the brand set and the gear set. I would assume that the kind of theme for this season is pulsing. You get pulse perfect talents, you get a new pulse talent for weapons. I would assume maybe the new brand set and gear set will have to do with pulsing, which sounds really cool because pulsing was something that was really big in the Division 1 and it's never quite taken off in the same way in the Division 2, and I'd really love to see it. So those bulls sound really cool. Look these guns up if you don't know what they look like, because this one especially looks really cool in my opinion. So I'm very excited to see what just the base versions of those are going to look like. But the Flatland talent sounds really awesome as well. Balance adjustments. Here we go. And this stuff is actually for PvP. Can you believe it? Now, not everything is here, and I'm going to mention that, but let's just get through what they do say. Adjustments have been made to the functioning of various talents in order to curtail undesirable behaviors and imbalance. Modifications to shield skill behavior. Shields now take significantly more damage in PvP. Shields now irresistibly disorient their user when broken. So there you go. That is probably going to effectively kill off the shield meta. I'm sure there will still be uses for it, but especially with the next point where it says excluded shields from the in-sync talent. Thank you. Thank you. This should have been done a year and a half ago when this thing came out. In sync and perfectly in sync no longer trigger from shield skills. The text of these talents have been updated. That was like one of the worst things in PvP. Now, actually, I'll take that back. Statuses and skills are still the worst. However, this was very bad as far as guns go. It just outclassed so many things and limited so many build opportunities. And I'm so glad that in combination with shields taking more damage, they now can't use in sync. That is probably going to eliminate a lot of the shields you see in PvP. And I'm very, very, very excited for that. Updated Intimidate and Perfect Intimidate talents. New behavior. While you have bonus armor, gain 1 stack each second up to a max of 7. Each stack increases total weapon damage by 5% to enemies within 10 meters. All stacks are lost when you have no bonus armor, and the Perfect increases that to 8. PvP, 4% weapon damage stack instead of 5. Okay. Don't know if Intimidate was still really that much of an issue. I mean, people do use Adrenaline Rush and Intimidate, so I don't want to make it sound like this is a bad change. I'm happy it's here. Do wish some of that effort had gone into skill and status stuff. Maybe that's still coming. But in general, Intimidate should be much more attractive now to people who aren't actually running Adrenaline Rush and they're running with a team who has like Tardigrade or Vanguard, who gives the whole team bonus armor for a longer duration of time and at a greater amount. That's going to allow you to rank up that damage a lot more, and it should, encourage even more team play, which is always what I think the goal should be. And so I'm very glad that that's there. Again, no skill stuff, no status stuff. The one big thing that we're going to have is this mask where it cleanses status effects. That's going to be useful for sure. Because, I mean, you had like the Pharaoh's mask in Div 1, where if you really had an issue with fire, you could run that. And so maybe this is their solution. I still do hope we see some changes. So we'll see. We'll see about that one. There are a few more things. Gameplay adjustments added a disorient effect, so they already mentioned that. Update those talents. Omit shields from in sync. Yeah, increased the damage to PvP and the shield. Yep. Repair traps now heal allies for the proper amount. That's interesting. Didn't know that there was really an issue with that already. But that is now there, so that's cool. And then, yeah, we'll just go through the design notes here. Shield skills have been unbalanced for quite some time and have grown to be the dominant build tactic in both PvE and PvP. Combined with in-sync, shields provide an unparalleled no downsides DPS boost. Thank you, at least they understand the issue. In addition, Intimidate, when combined with various methods of gaining short-term bonus armor, this made it deeply unfair in ambush situations in PvP and led to an undesirable PvE meta as well. As such, Intimidate now requires a slow build-up before reaching its maximum effectiveness, and that is also a very good change. As I said, the one thing that's missing is skills, especially for PvP, and statuses in particular. So hopefully we see more adjustments over the course of the PTS or even in further updates. But for now, this is a very good start, and I thank the dev team for actually taking a look at this stuff in PvP. We should get more stuff in the next update when the specializations, the rework goes in, we get the new armor kits, we get spec weapons back in PvP. There should be more PvP shakeups throughout the year, especially if you saw Yannick's tweet this morning about, the fact that they are ready to support the game for a full year. That's what they've been working on this whole time. We have a lot of stuff coming our way, but as far as this one update goes, and again, not everything is in here. They didn't talk about some of the regular versions of these guns. They didn't talk about the season. Obviously, they don't want to spoil that. It seems like it's going to have some sort of a pulse theme with these talents. I bet we're going to get a pulse themed gear set and brand set. Yeah, it all sounds really cool. I am probably by far most excited for this game mode. I think this is exactly the type of thing I was hoping they would do, where it's a bit more... I just like session-based stuff. Maybe that's just me, but the idea of queuing into Last Stand, you go in, and it's a round, it's a match, and even though this is only PvE, it sounds like it's going to be really fun. I don't entirely know why they went for 8 players, unless I can't tell if it's like two teams working together, like in a raid, you have all 8 people on one panel, or if it's like 2 separate teams that spawn at different locations. I'm not sure, but it must be integral in some way because you're going to have to matchmake with 7 other people. But that's the same as, same limit as a conflict game. So it should, be supported for a long time. It sounds really fun. I'm really interested to see the map it's going to take place on and what these enemies are they're talking about at the end when you extract. Sounds really fun, guys. The PTS is live in less than 24 hours from when I'm recording this. As I said, I will be streaming it tomorrow morning, so tune in for that. Really excited to check it out. The wait is over. I still don't know if I'm fully like accepting this, that, we've been waiting for pretty much 14 months since they announced this stuff, and it's finally here. And this is just the first of many updates to come over the course of the year. Probably 4 big ones with all the major season releases. Again, go check Yannick's Twitter if you want that full quote. But yeah, content is coming. It is here, guys. Really excited for all this. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you can be updated every time I upload. As I said, let me know your thoughts on the new game mode, the expertise system we already knew about. These exotics sound really cool. The new weapons look awesome. The balance adjustments, there's a lot to go over, so let me know all of your thoughts. And yeah, we'll have a lot to talk about in the next few hours. So we wait for the PTS to go live, and then there'll be even more stuff to talk about and look at and all that. So I can't wait to get into all of it. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. And until the next one, guys, RogueGold. Ow.